What is going on, everyone? Commodore Lads here. I have a character of interest that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. I've been wanting to actually make a discussion video about this, but the idea of throwing up images, throwing up clips, and doing all of that is a bit of a hassle. And then I thought to myself, a better idea. There's an individual I could talk about this with, a character who I talk about with this individual on numerous occasions. Sometimes we go on to the eons of the night, figuring out things that we didn't think even existed, and then being told afterwards otherwise. But today is here. Today, I have my good man, the future host to be of the Reverie, the 12th installment of the Reverie, King Recon, is here today to talk about Eiichiro Oda's masterpiece, the greatest adventure story ever told. King Recon, how are you, my man?
I'm still processing what you just said, bro. Like, the 12th host of the Reverie, man. That's like whenever Kenny is at the end of his career, and you tell him, like, yeah, man, the 7-star classic, the 6-star classics, that's me right now, where I'm just like, brother, is this really happening? Like,
it's well deserved. It's well deserved, man. For 10 years, you've been cooking, you've been putting on greatness in every reaction you do. Any video that you ever put out, whether it's One Piece, whether it be anything you had a genuine interest in. The fact that now this day has come, as someone who started off as a fan of your work to being like one of your good friends on here, man, it's just like, it's a beauty to see. And I know on Saturday, that's 7 stars. Don't even kid yourself on 6 stars. You're getting 7 stars. Damn no, you're getting 7 stars. Whether they want to accept it or not, you are going to get that 7 stars, man. And I'm looking forward to it.
Nah, dude, I really appreciate you for the kind words, bro. Like, we're gonna tear the house down. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? As Dave Meltzer would put it in his article with Alvarez. We're putting a 7-star classic.
Facts.
In the Budokan, too.
In the Budokan, man. Absolutely, dude. So, my man, today I wanted to talk about a certain character that, of course, if you guys are seeing right now on the screen before you, we're talking about the Princess of Alabasta, and possibly now the Queen of Alabasta, Nefertari di Vivi.
Hey, bro. Nefertari di Vivi, man. That's crazy.
The queen herself to be. Like, let's be honest, man. Princess, that's already out the way. We're in the final saga. We are here with the Queen of Alabasta. And I wanted to have a discussion video talking about Vivi in particular in regards to what her role will be at the very end of the story. Coming off what we just gotten right now, we've learned about the Nefertari clan being actually, related to the family of D. They have some connection to it, and we know they bear the name of D. We know about Lily and everything that's ever happened to her back in the day and everything with Emu and all that. I wanted to ask you, Recon, because the main basis of what this discussion video would be about comes down to what exactly I see the role being. But I want to know from you first. When you think of the name Nefertari Vivi, obviously, of course, you think about all these characters, all these things that you want to see from them, or, whenever they do show up. When you think of Nefertari Vivi, what comes to your mind?
The greatest promo in One Piece history. What we're about to get coming from Vivi is, for the Kingdom fans out there, it's gonna be like what Ace did, but on a world scale.
Mm-hmm.
Where Vivi, not only as a Straw Hat, obviously, rejoining eventually and stuff of that nature, but now being with the bearer of big news. Whether it's through Morgans, or Morgans allows her to be able to do what she's about to do. We're about to see Vivi cut the greatest promo in One Piece history. Mm-hmm. On Emu, on the Void Sentry, well, of what she knows about it. On Cobra, on Lily. It's going to be one of those where you can tell Oda's been building towards this. We just couldn't comprehend it until we got these clues. Mm-hmm. Like you and I have talked about on a multitude of occasions. We expected Dragon and Emu to be the conversation that sort of kickstarted it. And instead, it feels like it's the Cobra and Emu convo, but Vivi's really gonna be the, with Sabo, the one that ignites the revolution all around the world. So the fact that Vivi's going to be the one, as her role, to do something similar that Lily attempted to do back in the day, which was tell people about this through the poneglyphs. But now Vivi's gonna do it in present time? Break the news? Cutting promos? Nah, man. Nah, it's gonna be really special. And I know as a fellow fan of Vivi, obviously, and once again, thank you for having me on, because we've talked about this stuff so much. But, bro, it's realistic to think that before chapter 1100, Vivi will reveal the truth of Emu to the world. And that's crazy to think about. That's crazy to think about, man. But what are you thinking about her future role in the story?
So you got the gist of like all the stuff that you're just talking about right now. So you have a fair idea of what kind of you want to expect from her and with her character and where you think Oda might go with this. So this is where I want to implore an idea on you, even if that makes sense or not. But basically pass on what I think may be the scenario for Vivi. Now, think about this idea, right? Because where the world could be at the very end of the story, right? You know, we assume that Emu's going to be out of the picture, Blackbeard's going to be out of the picture, the world government's going to need some type of reforming, because you know how we re-kingdom, we know that the law is absolute. You need the law to be there to make sure that we don't walk into this, you know, a world full of chaos. Do you think there's a chance that Vivi could be the one that is at the helm of the world government at the very end of the story, being basically the leader that when the world looks to that person, that's going to be the shining beacon of hope? Do you think that she could easily fill that role? Because we've talked about this before. Kobe, Fujitora, we think for the marine side of things, they'll be the ones that'll take care of things. But there's got to be someone for the world government. So when I say that to you, like Vivi, you know, cutting the promos, doing all this, being that person that the world can look at and say, that's our leader. That's who we want to trust into. Do you see that for her before I give you the reason why I think that way?
Dude, I can. I think the reason why I can see it is because of the exclusion of the Nefertari family, right? Of them being the only ones not taking part in this for all of these years. The only family. It would be incredible if the head of that family is then, after the defeat of Emu, the person who represents the WG. I think that is extremely Oda, but I would love to hear your explanation for it. I love the premise, for sure.
The way I look at it right now, Recon, is that when I think of like Monkey D. Dragon, we think he's going to be the one that's going to cause this, you know, rebellion, the liberation, basically kickstart the war technically from the battle between the Revs, the people versus the people in power, the world government. But when I think of him being the guy at the end of the story to rule, it's very difficult for me now to look at it because the possibility that he's one of those characters that we think could die at the end of the story. There's no guarantee that he'll be able to make it. Not to mention the fact that despite that, when the world government's taken down, we think there are going to be people that may not agree to it whatsoever. But mainly for me, when it comes to him, is that the chances of him dying are like very high still. So I have him out the equation. And when I think of Sabo as the other person, like, well, the second in command, somebody that would love to see that happen for himself, I would think that because of the stuff that we saw with him, you know, the rebellions that were caused by his name, the Flame Emperor himself, all that. And then I have to also remember one thing about Sabo, and I think that when we come to the very end of the story, I don't think he's going to have these roles with regarding the Revolutionary Army, because you remember what was his big thing when he was a kid, what he wanted to do. He wanted to go out to sail.
What I want to do, baby.
And write stories and do all these things. And I genuinely believe that's going to be something that for him, he's going to be able to do at the end of the story. Once everything's been put down, when the dust has settled, he's going to have that chance to be able to finally go out there and actually have for what he's probably wanted, maybe not vocally saying it, but finally going to be able to do is have a normal life, go out and actually explore the world, do all these things. So I would remove him from the equation. So then it brings me, who else could come up to name? So obviously it's not going to be Luffy. My boy just wants to have his meat. He wants to chill. He wants to do whatever. He don't got time for all that.
And do his true dream. You know, yes. He said that Pirate King, that is going to be his stepping stone towards achieving his true dream. There's no way he's going to step on
exactly, bro.
That type of throne.
My guys get told, hey, listen, bro, you got to come in for 7 o'clock. Bro, I'm still on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still on vacation. Like, what do you want me to do, bro? Then everyone else is going to be doing their own thing. But I think with Vivi, it would be very interesting to see this because we saw Vivi before in the role of a pirate, you know, when she was working under like some Baroque works and stuff. So she knows the inner workings of that. But we also know she has something to do with the political side of stuff, right? So when I think of characters that tip between the lines of the gray line, so we always been with, you know, you have one side that's black, one side that's white, but nobody that really can be able to see both sides. And I think that for me, a character like Vivi, who's been through both, could be able to be that person that could be at the helm and say, look, I've seen both sides. I know the pros, I know the cons, I know what works, what doesn't work. But if I find a way that at the end of the story, once everything's taken care of, we can get to this point where change can happen, I think she's the one person that everybody can look at and say, you know what? But if she's in power, if she's there, because she has the history, she has all this stuff, I think she could be the one person that could be able to unite everyone together once everything has been settled. But now the matter is, though, it's like, if that were to happen, how do you go about it, right? Because obviously at this moment, we know what happened with Cobra. We know with his passing right now. Alabasta is in a very dire straits, basically. And it's not like she can go right back to Alabasta, because it's like she has a greater purpose, I think, now to play. And especially now with the fact that she's with Wapol, she's on the move. We don't know where Morgan's exactly is going. So it could be a lot of possibilities, but we'll get into that in a sec. I do think that with her character right now and where she's at the moment, I think this would be the perfect time for Oda to finally say, you know what, this girl that people have been clamoring for to want to get back with the Straw Hats and stuff, but have some kind of a bigger role. Like you were saying before, she's going to be the one that delivers this message, right? Robin's going to go out there. She's going to discover all the history and everything, right? But the one thing about her is that she has a promo in her. Not to say she never doesn't have one, but it's not her message to go out there and tell the world about it. She's the one who preserves the history. But the one to speak on history, the one to be able to tell them, hey, listen, man, this is the gospel. I don't need the script. I'm just going to say what I saw and everything. I think Vivi would literally be that one person that would be able to do it. It's like, I would look back to a moment like in Naruto with Gaara. You remember going back to before the war, and you would think, why is he on the podium? Why is he speaking? Why is he saying all this? But then when he cuts that promo and gets everybody together, you realize that's why he was in that moment. And I think Vivi would literally be exactly in that same position where she's seen both sides, she can speak on it. And I think if done correctly in the right setting and time, I think could be making for one of the best moments in the series and establish her as one of the best characters because she's had that moment.
100%. I love that, man. That is, wow. It just, a lot of things were moving in the mind, because I was like, okay, Vivi goes to the top of WG, obviously goes off with the Straw Hats. Who stays behind Alabasta? Mm-hmm. Well, we've already established that Koza is an individual who was raised in that similar type of environment as Vivi, and how beautiful would it be for Koza to be now the newly established leader of Alabasta after he was the one that was staging a revolution at the time. And I think, of course, because of everything that was going on, but now leaving him there, Vivi leaving, or maybe even not necessarily leaving it, but him understanding after seeing the newspaper, potentially everything happening with Vivi, it's like, hold on, she has the bigger purpose right now. Let me take this upon myself and go out and do this. Because one thing about Alabasta, its side characters are phenomenal. And this would be great for Koza to have his like final seal of approval of, yeah, you're a great character, all right. And for him to leave the country of Alabasta while Vivi goes on, like you said, not only on the journey with the Straw Hats, with the future king of the pirates, to live the Void Century, the Joy Boy and the Messenger Sama stuff, the truth of the world. But then to take that information, to take the journey of a pirate on these seas, provide that knowledge on the grandest stage in what would become a true reverie every year, where Vivi would come in and host, bring in all the kings, and be like, all right, what can we do to better the world? And anytime someone comes up with some sort of thing, she can base it on the knowledge of the past. Of, okay, this is how they did 900 years ago, 800 years ago, how the pirates held balance, how the Marines held balance, how Sword held balance, how Revolutionary Army held balance. And hers, of course, will always, like you said, because she's in that middle line, that middle ground, that grew up similar to Sabo and that type of environment, except Sabo rejected it. Vivi accepted it.
Yeah.
Where Vivi, from a very young age, took place in the first reverie where they talked about Dragon and was like, you know what? This is something that's important to me. It means something to me.
Exactly. Like, yes.
So Vivi, obviously, because it means something to her, we know based on Alabasta, the way she cared about that. Imagine that throughout the course of the entire planet after having gone on the final adventure with the Straw Hats and understanding the role of someone like that, because now obviously she would be sort of substituting in for Emu, even though no one knew Emu existed.
Right.
The five elders really held together WG. Vivi would not be that one central figure that stands above in an actual democracy. President Vivi, all right? And I think that would be so beautiful. And it would also, you know, you and I have talked about the importance of Alabasta and Jaya in the grand scheme of things. If this is something that Oda has had in store from the beginning of the series, then it would make sense why Vivi was like the first real princess that was highlighted in the story, if this was her greater purpose all along. And how beautiful is it, Laz, that within the same arc we thought Vivi would join, Robin joins. And now at the end of the series, what Robin discovers, Vivi is going to be the one to take that message to the rest of the world. I think that's such a beautiful dynamic between those two.
And it's like now it's like the matter of exactly, does Vivi join during Egghead? Because obviously when we come back with the manga, we'll still be at the concluding stages of Egghead. And we have to think though where exactly Morgus is going, you know, because Vivi did say to Wapol, you know, take me to the ends of the world if that's where you're going to go and stuff. And then, you know, they're on their move and stuff. I would have to imagine Recon for a moment, because the Egghead incident could be anything, right? I mean, the obvious thing we can think of is, you know, Vegapunk possibly dying, you know, maybe Luffy ends up defeating Kizaru, or maybe ends up putting the brakes on Saturn, which would be crazy. Like, if people were to find out, like, one of the Gorosei got bopped by the Yonko Monkey D. Luffy, it's like, bro, it's like nobody's safe. You would think, like, everyone's like, oh my god, if a leader like that got touched, then it's like, what can you do at that point? But I'm also thinking, like, let's say it's like not on the scale of, you know, violence or whatever, but it's Vivi basically leaving her position for the moment of time as the Queen of Alabasta to link up with the Straw Hats. Like, as we saw with X, the mark and everything, take me with you. Like, if we were to hear that and they were to capture that moment, like Vivi joining up with the Straw Hats, it'll be one of those things where it's like the world will go crazy, because it's like someone who's in power, someone of great importance, is linking up with one of the most dangerous men on the planet. I think that would literally put Luffy already enough in terms of or all the crazy stuff he's done already, where he just goes and takes a princess, a queen, and is like, yo, she's on my side now. You know, it's just like, at that point, you're the world government, you're like, what do we do? Like, what do we do, man? Like, it's just crazy to think.
Imagine, on Luffy and the Straw Hats coming out of this arc in the newspaper. Straw Hat Luffy takes Vegapunk hostage. Nefertari D. Vivi joins the Straw Hat Pirates. Monkey D. Luffy defeats Admiral Kizaru and or punches Saint J. Garcia Saturn.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we're gonna come out of this arc with the biggest X marked on our backs. Like, you're absolutely right. The Egghead incident could be... I've always thought it's going to be a culmination of multiple different things, which is why Oda's showing us all this, right? Shanks defeating Kid, Blackbeard defeating Law, everything happening around the world. Vivi obviously revealing the info potentially happening soon. All that stuff is going to factor in to this. But on top of that, knowing Oda, the ending of these types of arcs are always the craziest. So whatever he has in store for the Egghead incident, for it to be the major thing, like you said, it might be a combination of the two. Or it's going to be like a massive victory or L on either side of the Pirates or the Marines. Of course, we have Blackbeard Pirates coming into with potentially Devon and Lafitte, which would be so cool. But all of those players on Egghead, whether Punk Records reveals info, whatever it ends up being, it's going to happen soon. And are you of the same thought that we get back to Egghead immediately?
I think we're coming back right after. I think we do, because at this point in time, we've gotten so much already done with the Reverie stuff. Like, all we need to know is out there. Now it's a matter of let's wrap it up. But I feel like the wrap it up is still going to be such a lot of time that we missed with Luffy and everything. But like, because it's such a pivotal moment that's going to really kick things into the actual final gear that is the final saga. Like, this felt, at one point you thought this would be the calm before the storm, but now we're entering the first stages of that storm. So it's very scary to believe that once we come back from here, we're going into chaos. You know what I mean? So like, with this break, as great as it was, I can't wait to get back to the madness that is to ensue very soon, man. But yeah, no, man. But yeah, again, thank you again for coming on here, Recon. I mean, again, just basically just spitballing our thoughts and stuff regarding Vivi. It's something I've been wanting to talk about for a minute. I know that for you and I, again, this is a character that we talk about so much, and now that we're at this final saga, and we now have an idea, maybe in both our minds, what exactly Vivi has in store for us, or what Oda has in store for her. I think it could be an amazing moment to see her possibly begin that process of, you know, saying, I've seen all these things happen at my time being princess and watching from my father's stead. But now that I know that the world needs this kind of change and everything, I think she would be the most perfect person to have that role, take the leadership there, live life in the gray area, maybe put on the gray suit. Like, I guess she's Kazuma Curio, you know what I mean? You know, she's rocked the white for so long, it's time to just switch it up a little bit, get some gray on you and everything.
Instead of the dragon of Dojima, the dragon of Mugiwara. Just,
I'm saying, bro, you know what I mean? Get like the dragon on the Mugi and stuff and everything too, bro. It would be absolutely perfect, man. Karu out there afterwards with the Majima eye patch and stuff, like, you know. That would be absolutely peak, dude.
Greatest of all time.
And if it could lead into something where Vivi ends up joining the Straw Hats, like finally give what the people have been wanting since like the 2000s. Oh my god, man, it would be sensational.
We're gonna get to a point. We're gonna have Vivi on the ship, Yamato on the ship,
facts,
and then right behind them, Usopp with his giants and the Tontada, the rest of the Grand Fleet, Momonosuke coming in with the samurai, Shirahoshi coming in with the fishmen, the ancient weapons. We're gonna be filthy, man.
Bro, my guy's gonna be out here too, dugongs and everything, man. He's saying, yo, let's go, let's throw hands, let's go, let's do it up, man. That man was not lying about his army, wasn't he? He says we're gonna get that, we're gonna get that, man. But guys, thank you so much though for sticking around for the entirety of the video, for our discussion talking about Vivi with myself and King Recon. Recon, again, thank you for coming through for this discussion video, my man. And of course, if you guys don't know, you should know by now, Reverie 12 set to go down Saturday, July 8th over on King Recon's channel. Link will be down in the description below to Recon's channel, as well as of course to the actual stream when it does go down. If you have anything of importance going on that Saturday, I'm telling you right now, cancel it. You want to be here for this. You got a wedding, I'll tell you right now, bro, she will be there the next day. You have a funeral, I promise you the body will still be there. If you have a birthday of such for whoever it is, there are 364 more days to cherish before we get to the next one, because this, again, once in a lifetime. Maybe, who knows, maybe we get twice, thrice. If anyone deserves that, it's gonna be him. But you do not want to miss this Saturday, July 8th, 2023. We will be there no matter what. But guys, again, thank you guys for sticking around for the entirety of the video. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below regarding this topic in regards to Vivi. What do you see her role being at the end of the story? Do you think there's a chance that she could still join the Straw Hats by the end of the Egghead arc, or maybe a little bit afterwards? Any clarifications, any inputs, anything you guys want to add about the discussion down in the comments below, or even questions you want to ask for me and Recon as well, let us know, and we'll be there no matter what. But again, Recon, thank you for sticking around. Is there any final thoughts you want to drop before we sign off?
Dude, incredible promo.
I learned from the best.
I was about to say, you channeled that Vivi energy. We love to see it. We love to see it, baby. But no, thank you for having me, brother. Super excited. Obviously, I'll see you in a couple more days for the Reverie. And to all of you watching this video, Nefertari D. Vivi is about to stamp her entire, not just for her, the rest of her generations are going to hear of the greatness of the legendary Nefertari D. Vivi based on what she's about to do. So excited for that, man.
Already know, man. She's gonna be out here. She's gonna get her own 7 stars. You know, all-time performances. Dave Meltzer's gonna put her in the Wrestling News Observer Hall of Fame. You already know that, man. So excited, as you should. But guys, again, thoughts down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will catch you guys in the next video. Commodore Last signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, take care.
Going crazy, yeah, we going